Welcome to my sixth session on my book study of So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijeoma Oluo. And today I'm going to be talking about chapters 10 through 15, all of which are pretty short. And I have one more video in which I'll talk about the word racist. So today, chapter 10 is entitled, What is Cultural Appropriation? Cultural appropriation is when a dominant culture takes something from another culture, a minority culture, and then uses it or exploits it for gain. And the big example she uses is rap music. Rap music comes out of black culture. It has deep roots in black culture, but white rappers have taken over the genre and they're making millions on it, whereas black rappers don't get the recognition or the reward. It's been the same in music for a long time, back into the 1800s, where white performers would take black music and then record it and make money off of it. Or you might think of white artists that make Native American art and then sell it and make money off of it, whereas they should let Native American artists have that genre. It's offensive and it's harmful to people of color. Chapter 11 is entitled, Why Can't I Touch Your Hair? Ijeoma Oluo says that when she was a girl, she did not like her kinky hair, and so she had her mother use these harsh chemicals to straighten it out. And when she got older, she decided she liked her hair as it was, and so she grew it out natural. But people are always wanting to touch it. They say, is it real? And she says, no, you can't touch my hair, not without my permission. And it goes back to times when black bodies were not respected. And she says, our bodies are our own. Don't assume that you can touch them. Chapter 12 is entitled, What are Microaggressions? You may have heard that word used before. Microaggressions are little insults or indignities that are perpetrated on people of color, just little zingers that each individual one doesn't hurt so much, but altogether they really are harmful. Things like, you don't sound black, or, oh, you must be the affirmative action hire. Or, are you visiting this neighborhood? You speak English really well. Oh, are you the maid? Those little insults, they just get under your skin. They're just enough to be a little jab. She says it's the cumulative effect of all these little hurts that does the real damage and make you feel isolated and invalidated. It's sort of a constant reminder that you don't belong. Chapter 13, Why Are Students So Angry? She says that, after the promise of the civil rights movement and desegregation, there was an assumption that things were going to get better for young people and that young black people had a future. And now they're discovering that that's not true. The barriers are still there. They're more subtle now, but they're still there. And so there's anger about that. Chapter 14, What is the model minority myth? The model minority myth is that Asian Americans came here for the last 50 years and they have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and they've succeeded. Well, so why can't you? She says it's not a fair comparison, for one thing, and it's just used to divide and conquer minority peoples. So it's really a harmful myth. And chapter 15 is, But what if I hate Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson or some other strident black person? She says that Over the years, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has been sort of mythologized into being the good black man. He was nonviolent, he was peaceful, he was a gentle person. And by contrast, blacks like Malcolm X are seen as angry and scary and violent. And so she says that whites want us to be like they perceive Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Quiet, well-mannered, not abrasive or angry. And she says, so there's a lot of tone policing that goes on when white people try to make people of color tone down their remarks or their attitude. If they come across as angry or abrasive, then they're labeled as a Malcolm X. And she says, this takes power away from black people, as if their humanity must somehow be earned. And she says, I am filled with a righteous anger, and I don't owe anybody niceness. So that's a quick summary of 5 chapters. Again, she pushes us, she helps us understand what it's like for a person of color and asks us to understand. Hope you join me next time. Thanks.